Hello, family. This is Coach Lucretia Hayes Reno, and I'm excited to have a moment to share with you guys today. I first have to thank everyone who has been subscribing and sharing the videos. I appreciate it, and because I appreciate it, I have decided to do a series of question and answer. And I'm going to keep these really short because I know we all have busy lives and things that we have to go do. So today's question is, Coach Lucretia, how do you find time and energy to balance family, church, work, and dreams? What are your what are your top 3 suggestions for dealing with the busyness of life? Okay, that's actually a good question. Um, First of all, let me just say that there is no easy way to do it. You're going to have times where you're going to have to make some really tough choices, unfortunately. There'll be times when you can choose between doing whatever it is that that you do. Maybe it's network marketing, maybe it's writing, maybe it's publishing, whatever it is. You'll have to choose between that and maybe even your child's dance recital or um, different things like that. A lot of people will tell you that the primary reason why you want to own your own business is because you want to be free to be able to go and do all these things, with your children, with your family. You want to have time for your husband. You want to have time for vacations and all of that. What they often don't tell you is that for a season at a time, you won't have any time, because when you begin to first build a business, you're not going to immediately jump in business and get wealthy. Some people have done it, but generally it's not a quick process. And in the beginning, it requires more of your time. So if you're building a business, even if it's network marketing, it's going to require some time and effort from you. It's going to require an energy input, a massive one, if you want a massive return. Generally, you have to always remember this rule: whatever it is that you put in, that's what you can get back out of it. If you don't put anything into your business or your book or your network marketing, maybe you're into direct sales, maybe whatever it is, or maybe you just want to go back to school because you want to be a nurse or a doctor or an attorney or a paralegal, whatever. If you don't put anything into it, then it won't pay off for you, right? Now, here's the thing about family. A lot of times people look at their family as if it's just someone that's kind of there, they're in the way, or you may say, well, I'm doing this because I want more time with my family, but we don't see our families as assets. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. Glad you asked. Let's just say you have older children, you have a husband, you have sisters and brothers, and your mom, your dad, and everything. And let's just say you're building your dream, say you're building a business, and you also have a job, and you're trying to find balance between the two. Or let's just say you have responsibilities in the church. Well, why not involve your family? A lot of times we think that it's not quality time if we don't actually get our family and go off on vacation, or get our family and we go off to eat, or something like that. But it's just as much quality time to actually sit down and involve your family in your vision board. It's like, what would you guys want to do if I was suddenly making $50,000 a month? What kind of life would you guys envision? Let's put this together, because when you do that, then they feel like they're part of the process. They're more likely to be understanding when you're actually not available to them, and they also feel partially responsible. So you'll find that your kids all of a sudden, Mama, you want a coffee? You want a tea? I got you. I know you're working right now, because they have a vision also for your business. So keep that in mind. Your family is not always a liability for people who think like that. Your family is an asset. And a lot of times, a lot of people make a mistake in building a business because they think they have to build it all alone. You don't. You cannot build a conglomeration, a major empire on your own. Okay? The next thing is this. You have to, when it concerns like church duties, I want to say this, I'm probably going to offend somebody. Please understand that I'm just giving you the best advice I possibly can. as a licensed and ordained minister for the last 16 years and counting, I've went through many phases, and I went through that super passionate phase, like I'm all about God and I'm all about the ministry, and this is like the most important thing. I found my purpose in life, and in the process of that, I have lost friends, family, husbands, because honestly, guys, it's nice to volunteer at church. It's nice to take on positions or whatever, but if those positions, if you're in a position between building your dream, whatever dream that is that God put in you, your family, and your duties and responsibilities at church, well, then you have to make a decision. Your family cannot be sacrificed. So honestly, and you can't really not do what's been put in your DNA to do, which is building whatever dream or whatever vision you have. So sometimes you have to back away from church responsibilities, because here's the thing, and this is just the truth, speaking from the perspective of a minister and a person who has trained leaders all across this country. There will always be work to do at church, because there's always more work than there are people willing to do it or qualified to do it. And so a lot of us start off just picking up one or two little duties, and then the next thing you know, it's just like we happen to be at church 3-4 times a week, and it's just a job. It's literally a job, and it begins to detract from everything else. And I want to say to you emphatically that the church and the work you do for church is not what you need to get to heaven. A lot of people act like to say no to the church is to say no to God, but that's not always the case. And the fact of the matter is, God is understanding enough for us to say no to him. I wouldn't imagine you would want to, because I wouldn't, but I don't let the guilt trip make me say yes to things just because it's in a church building or it was a request by a pastor or a spiritual leader. No, there are times when you have to honor you, and you have to remember that. If you have a very busy lifestyle, another tip I can share with you is morning meditation. It is so important. If you already get up pretty early, if you can set your clock just an extra 30 minutes early, get up, try to get in at least 10-15 minutes. If you can't do a full 20 minutes of meditation, because it gives you time to center yourself, to really get in touch with your divine Father, your Holy Father, to pull down his energy and his strength so that you can go through your day. It keeps you in a position to remember what's most important. And that's another thing. Know what is most important and do not lose sight of it. If you have to reevaluate your goals and duties and stuff like that, you should do that regularly. But keep sight of what's most important. Okay? And one last tip that I would give you is this. Ask for help. Delegate. If you have a business, you need to operate your business as if there'll be a time when you won't be around. Sam Walton, of course, started Walmart, but you can believe that when Walmart began growing, he wasn't everywhere. He couldn't be. He's just one man. He couldn't be overseeing every Walmart that was ever built. He had to duplicate himself, share his vision with others, and put them in a position to run with it. And it's a whole lot easier to manage 12, let's just say 12 managers than it is to manage 1,200 stores. You understand what I'm saying? So delegate. Duplicate yourself in your most trusted people. You can start off with your kids or your husband or your sisters or whoever else is doing this thing with you. Don't be afraid to say no. Stay centered and grounded with meditation and prayer. And at the end of the day, if it comes down to it, know what can be sacrificed for the greater good of your vision or whatever. So anyway, it's been Coach Lucretia with a question and answer session. I thank you guys for submitting your questions. Be sure to submit them below the video. Like and subscribe, by the way, and share. Or you can email me at lucretia.hayes@gmail.com. Any questions that you have, any concerns, anything you would like to see me do a video on, any subject you want me to touch, because I'm bold and unafraid. So we're going to do more of these, and I thank you for your time. Go have a blessed day.